Hey guys, Jones here. Today I just wanted to do a quick Wicked Edge modification tip video. As you can see here, I've got the upgraded arms for my Wicked Edge. If you do own a Wicked Edge, these are one of the best investments you can make as far as this system goes. The arms are phenomenal. But the problem I was having though is that a lot of the metal dust and debris that's a byproduct of the sharpening process was actually getting into the joint itself down here, and over time, that actually caused the action of the arms to roughen up a good bit, and you could actually hear the joint moving. It'd make kind of a ch-ch-ch sound because there was so much debris and crap in there. So as an engineer, first thing I did was come up with a solution for it. Now I'm sure there's other solutions out there. I really haven't looked, but this is what I came up with, and so far it has worked great. And what you are going to need are water balloons. I prefer these grenade style water balloons. We've all seen them when we're kids. These are really the best thing for the job because the rubber that these are made out of is a whole lot thicker and stronger and tougher than your typical cheap kind of neon colored water balloons. So this will work much better. Now what you need to do is fold the balloon in half like this so it's flat, and then cut out a half circle in the side of the bottom. You don't want to do the bottom because the arms actually mount off to their side. So if you do the side of the bottom like is in this balloon, then when you spread it back open you will have a circle. Now I would warn against cutting like a square or a diamond shape in there, because where the corners are going to be is going to create a stress point, so when you stretch the balloon it could potentially rip. So if you have a smooth concentric circle, that'll prevent that. So what you need to do now is open up this hole in the bottom that you've cut, and you're going to slide it down over the top of your arm rods, then up through the neck till you get to the ball joint assembly down here. Now the diameter of the ball joint assembly is a good bit thicker than the actual rods, so you're actually going to have to work that balloon over it, but after that it's pretty much smooth sailing. Now when you get to the very bottom here, you're going to want to spread open that hole that you've cut in the balloon, and you're going to slide it over the actual ball joint, and then of course when it's over there that hole will close back up, and the balloon basically completely encapsulates your ball joint assembly, so you don't have to worry about any metal dust or diamond flakes or anything getting in that actual joint and abrading it, causing premature wear. So far it's worked great. I mean, now my arms are as smooth as glass and they're absolutely silent. Occasionally from time to time I do have to put in a little bit more lubricant. Also, that's one thing I did before I put the balloons on, is I cleaned the polished ball to make sure there wasn't any debris on there, and then I lubed the hell out of it. To lube it I used 85W145 gear oil. If you've never used it, it's great. It's a extremely thick viscous oil. Works great for kind of high stress, high wear applications. And I put a good bit of that on there, and then put the balloons on, of course, and it's worked great. One thing I would advise against though is using a thin lubricant like WD-40, because rubber such as these balloons can actually absorb the WD-40 and swell up, and then of course it's extremely weak and it is prone to breaking. Also, there appears to be some sort of polymer cage or race actually inside the bottom of this arm joint. I don't know how that'll react to the WD-40, so you might just want to steer clear of that and use a thicker petroleum-based lubricant. But if you do what I said, you should be fine. I have seen a couple of tips for eliminating the metal dust, but they haven't really worked for me. I mean, I've tried the neodymium magnets mounted at the base, but the problem I was having with that was anytime the stones got close to the magnets would fly off and slam against the stones, and they hit them hard. I mean, it sounded like somebody hit my stones with a hammer. Of course, my magnets were out of a hard drive, so they're rather large. But when that happens, of course, it's knocking diamonds out of the stone. You don't want that. I know Clay Allison came up with a tip that uses like soapy water to keep all the metal dust on the actual knife blade. I didn't want to use that. That's just kind of it makes a mess. I didn't want to do that. I can deal with dust on the actual platform. I don't want it in my joints. That's it. Also, one more thing is I put a piece of tape over the back where the vice screw is on top. The problem I was having there was all the metal dust and everything was actually getting on the threads of the screw, and when you're unscrewing and tightening it, it was actually bringing that dust into the threads on the back section of the jaw and on the threads of the screw, and it got really rough when I was trying to tighten and loosen it to clamp my knife blades. So I took the screw out, cleaned it off, greased it, put a piece of tape over the back, so this keeps all the metal dust and everything off those threads, so it'll be much easier and smoother to clamp your knife blades in there. So I think I'll end it here. I won't take up any more of your time. Hopefully this helps somebody out there. I know it's done wonders for my system. It's prevented a lot of unnecessary maintenance that I didn't want to have to do anyway. So thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you soon.